Good evening. I'd like to call to order the March 20th meeting of the Media Borough Council. I'd like to start our meeting, as we always do, with the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And I hope you will indulge me. I fell at work earlier this week and I have a little bit of tender stiffness in my lower back. So if I look a little awkward at times, that'll be why. We have a wonderful opportunity this evening, and it's always such a pleasure to see our police officers gathering to support one of their own, and especially to bring on someone who's going to make our department whole. I often refer to media as the diamond of Delaware County, and I say this as often as I can to our police officers. You're one of the main reasons for that. We are truly lucky, and as of this evening, we're going to have a swearing-in ceremony for our newest officer, William Smith. And I'll turn things over to Chief McCormick and the Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of council, Mayor McMahon. Good evening, everybody, and thank you all for coming out tonight. It's always good to see a full house when we have such a significant moment, not just for the police department, but for the borough, and welcoming a new member to our team. A little over 6 months ago, we had a police test. We had 14 applicants come out for that. They had to go through a battery of tests, written exams, interviews, polygraph examinations, very in-depth background investigations. I can go on and on and on. However, at the end of that process, we had one significant standout, and that's our new officer, Will Smith. Now, like Chief Wasinick used to say, what makes a good cop? Is it because he was a great test taker, or he ran the fastest, or he was the strongest? What makes a good cop is good people. And after a little over a month of working with Will and feedback from his field training officer, his sergeant, and other officers, we definitely have that in Will. So without further ado, I'll stop hogging the microphone and we'll bring Will, come on up. Stand out of the way.
You want me to read?
No, face that one. They want to All right, ready? Repeat after me. I, William Smith,
I, William Smith,
being duly appointed
as
as a police officer
in
in Media Borough,
Media Borough,
Delaware County, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, do solemnly swear
that I will support
and obey
and
and defend the Constitution
the
of the United States,
of the United States,
the Constitution
and
laws
laws
of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
of the Commonwealth of
and
Pennsylvania,
the ordinances
and the ordinances
of Media Borough.
of Media Borough.
I swear
I swear
that I will uphold and obey
that I will uphold and obey
the enforcement of the law
the enforcement of the law
without consideration
without consideration
to persons, race, color,
to persons, race, color,
sex,
religious creed,
sexual and orientation.
sexual orientation.
I will adhere to the guiding principles
I will adhere to the guiding principles
of integrity,
of integrity,
professionalism,
professionalism,
and respect.
and respect.
I will perform the duties of police officer
I will
with
perform
fidelity.
the duties of
and
police
honor.
officer with
I'm going a
fidelity.
little fast. Fidelity and honor,
With fidelity and honor,
to the best of my abilities.
to the best of my abilities.
So help me God.
So help me God. I just want to thank my family and friends for all their support, the council, as well as the chief for the opportunity to come and work here, and I look forward to serving the community for many years to come. So, thank you.
Congratulations. Congratulations, Officer Smith. We'll now move on.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Welcome. Did you have anything you want to say? Okay. Photos in the lobby, I guess? Thank you again, officers, for coming this evening. It's great to see you, as always. Good night. We'll give it a minute or two. We should have had Will introduce everybody. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Those of you in the back row cannot hide anymore. Move on up. We now have a couple of approval of moments. The first item is approval of our February 6th, 2025 workshop meeting minutes. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion has been made. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of approving the February 6th, 2025 workshop meeting minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Say nay. Motion carries unanimously. Next up are the February 20th, 2025 council meeting minutes. Do I have a motion to approve those?
So moved.
Motion has been made. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of approving the February 20th, 2025 council meeting minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Say nay. Motion carries unanimously. We now have the first of two opportunities for public comment and privilege of the floor. We are more than welcome to entertain comment via email at comments@mediaborough.com, or we ask anyone who is present if they would like to stand. They just need to give us their name and address and say their piece. I will ask our administrative assistant, Ms. Rapino, do we have any, administrative manager, Ms. Rapino. Do we have any comments via email?
I have none at this time, Mr.
Okay,
President.
thank you very much. Again, Administrative Manager Rapino. Is there anyone present that would like to speak? Okay, seeing none, there will, oh, if you would like, please come to the microphone. Again, state your name and address.
Kathy, I'm the food vendor at the Media Courthouse.
Again, we need your name and address for the record.
Kathy Borelli, I live in Brookhaven, Pennsylvania, and I work outside the Media Courthouse.
Thank you.
Is the solicitor here? Are you? I haven't had the pleasure of meeting you, sir. My name is Kathy Borelli.
Nice to meet you.
This is the ordinance that I have been questioning concerning mobile food vending.
I've read it and go on, please.
Well, I understand that I was told that it was void, and I'm here to ask you why. How can you void an ordinance that's in writing in black and white?
Because the state passed a law that if the county has a health department, the county health department takes over that function. And about 4 or 5 years ago, the county created a health department. That means that all local food codes were no longer in effect. It's all regulated at the county level.
Okay, could you tell me where I could find that information?
I don't, you can go to the county website, you can look at their ordinances, you can look at state law, the state health code.
Okay. Because the courthouse, I know this, when I first started 25 years ago, Augie Penatellis and we were grandfathered in for, once Augie was done, there wouldn't be any more, and once I was done, there wouldn't be any more vending in front of the courthouse. That was my understanding of the law. Now that Augie has retired, there's been a problem at the courthouse ever since Augie retired with me and the other food vendor. I have been out front for 25 years, and the other gentleman was using Augie's license, and it's a non-transferable license. The trailer is in the new person's name, but the license is in Augie Panatellis' name. I don't see how that is fair. Augie says, and Jeff said, that they are in partnership together. The state of Pennsylvania has no partnership between Augie Panatellis and Jeff Gray. It has to be filed with the state. So I've done my share. I've done everything that I need to do to figure out why this ordinance is not enforced.
Well, I just told you why this ordinance is no longer in effect, because that has been superseded by state law. And this borough is not in the food licensing business anymore. I don't have anything more to say.
Okay, so if they're not, if the license is issued though,
It is not a borough matter anymore.
it's not a borough matter, so what matter is it?
It's a county or state matter.
The county as in Delaware County? Courthouse County?
There's a
They
county
don't want to
health...
be involved.
I don't have anything else to offer you here. I'm not your lawyer, you need to talk to your own lawyer. I can't give you legal advice, you need to get...
Oh,
your
I wasn't asking for legal advice.
Well,
I just
you're
really-
asking
because-
for, you're asking me for legal information, and I'm not going to give...
I was just
mean,
asking for an
it's-
explanation because it's a...
I've given you the explanation. That ordinance is no longer in effect because there is now a county health department. I don't have anything else to offer you on your licensing issues. They're not a borough issue.
Okay, so the borough, so is it clear now that this borough council meeting here, no one has, I know they were going to talk about creating a new ordinance concerning mobile vending. Are you saying that that's not part of this?
That is not a food licensing issue. It's going to be where things can be located if it happens.
Okay. Okay, thank you for your time.
Sure.
Thank you. Just as a moment of clarification, right now it is at the committee level. When and if anything is ready to come to the council level, we will have the solicitor bring it to us. Okay? Thank you. Thank you, Kathy, Ms. Borelli, for speaking. Anyone else care to speak? Seeing none, we'll move on to our borough manager's report. Ms. Foreman.
Good evening, and thank you, Mr. President. I have a few announcements. First, I just wanted to share that the borough is hiring parking enforcement officers and crossing guard positions. So if you please share this information with interested parties, and they can go on our website to apply for those positions. I also wanted to mention about the comprehensive plan. It is well underway. I mentioned this 2 weeks ago, but I think it's worth mentioning again that the steering committee met earlier this month, and the consultants are in the process of putting together all of the community outreach resources. There's going to be a survey, and there's going to be information in our newsletter and social media, and so that will be forthcoming, and the big push will be for a community survey. That's the first piece of that community outreach, and so we're really asking our residents to keep an eye out for that information because we really want as much resident input as possible. There will be many, many opportunities over the next 12 months to get involved with the comp plan, but it starts with a survey. Third, I wanted to mention the 3rd Street Bridge. The 3rd Street pedestrian bridge as first public meeting will be on Wednesday, March 26th at 6:30 p.m. in the community center. So please mark your calendars, please tell your neighbors, please come on out and learn about some of the preliminary concept designs for the pedestrian and the bicycle bridge. And there will definitely be, it's going to be about a 30-minute presentation talking about the project, the timeline, what it could potentially look like, an hour of interactive work with the community, getting their feedback, and then there will be some time for Q&A at the end. So we really encourage everyone to come out for that. We want to, of course, we are continuing to track Crozier Hospital situation very closely. The latest news is that there is cautious optimism that a nonprofit will be purchasing the health system. Who knows where that will go? But there's about a week left to make those sorts of major decisions. But even if, and hopefully when, that hospital system is saved, there's a likelihood, we're hearing more and more, that there's a likelihood that the ambulances will be cut. And so we are bracing for impacts in the EMS area. We are continuing to meet with our municipal neighbors to discuss a regional EMS system, and I will certainly be keeping council updated on the progress of those discussions. but it is significant and something that we have to stay on top of. And lastly, it is with a heavy heart that I must announce the passing of Stephen Benson. He served as a crossing guard at the corner of State and Monroe for the last couple of years, and it's a highly visible corner, and he certainly will be missed there by many in the community. So we send our condolences out to his family as we continue to keep them in our thoughts and our prayers. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Ms. Foreman. Other comments from anyone or questions for our manager? Hearing none, we'll move on to our engineer's report. Mr. Mattson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I did submit a written report to the council, just touching on a few capital projects around town. There are a number that are in design. There are some that are scheduled to be let. So again, we have traffic calming installations over at Providence and 5th Street near the Holly House. Installed will be a rapid rectangular flashing beacon. Also, likewise, there'll be traffic treatments at Lemon and Jefferson. Both of those are in survey and design at the moment, but I anticipate they should be out this spring, summer for posting for contractors. We're also developing with Public Works crew this year's road program to get the slate of streets that will be paved. And the project at North Olive Street and Ridge Road is in its final quality control checks to make sure that everything is okay before that goes out to bid. I anticipate that will go out to bid this spring, this summer. Again, that project is supported with a considerable grant. That was the stormwater improvements in the north end of town that had been subject to a considerable amount of flooding. It was one of the highlighted areas of our overall stormwater management plan. With Plum Street, the contractor has returned to Plum Street, which is great news. So again, we have seen, if anybody has been over there are a number of features that are worthwhile noting. First of all, the fountain is really substantially complete and it's visible. So if you have an opportunity to walk by there and get a cup of coffee or a taco, you'll notice that the fountain, as it was conceived from our designers into the committee meetings, has really taken its final form. It looks good. I think it looks very, very sharp. The light fixtures are being assembled at the moment. The masts have gone up, and the heads will be most likely installed this week. And then the contractor is continuing with the installation of the pavers and all the associated work for the ground treatment. And then what is next is the work that will be completed all along the sidewalk of State Street, including the installation of some curbing and to reopen the walkway. I'll be sure to connect with the owners, the operators of Jacko Taco. They will be slightly affected because there'll be some concrete that's torn out and replaced. And I'll make sure to coordinate them with our contractor, and all of their vendors and all their customers to make sure that we keep them open to the maximum extent practicable. So on the whole, that's pretty much on Plum Street. I'm happy to have Mr. DePaul and his crew return to media.
Thank you. I believe we all are very grateful for that.
Unless there's any other questions, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Mattson. Are there any questions for our engineer? You answered the one that I had, so. Moving along, we will now entertain our solicitor's report. Mr. Scott.
Thank you, Mr. President. I don't have anything to report tonight.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for our solicitor? Hearing none, we'll move on to the mayor's report. Mr. Mayor.
Okay, last month was very, very busy, 629 complaints. I'll read a couple of them. Let's see, alarms were 43, disorderly conduct was 16, domestic abuse 7, and conduct is another 8. And again, that's a pretty big, I have to learn how to turn these pages. And let's see, there were 73 car stops, that's almost a record. Traffic accidents were 23. So stay off the road. Look around. I'm going to leave it at that.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And unless there are any questions for Mr. Mayor, we have a perfect segue. But seeing there are none, we'll move on to the council committee reports. And I'm going to let Mr. Councilmember Trey Herman share a little bit about our traffic information. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you, Mr. Mayor, for the transition. Just have one liaison announcement, just a part of our traffic calming education. So there are 23 streets in the borough where vehicles can enter and exit. This is a lot of traffic. Drivers have many choices on how to get through or across town. Our streets are mainly collector or local roads, which are classes that describe how busy a street is. It's common for drivers who don't live in our neighborhoods to cut through our local streets on their way to their destinations. Common examples include Ridge Road, North Olive, 3rd, Jefferson, and Monroe Streets. Drivers should be aware that these streets feature the homes that make up our small town character. And so it's common to see strollers, joggers, bicyclists, and children playing throughout these neighborhoods. When crossing town, our major collector streets are Baltimore Avenue, Providence Road, and Orange Street. So the next time you are out and about, please ask yourself, do I need to cut through neighborhoods, or can I just use the major streets when getting around the media? Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for Councilmember Herman?
Not a question, but also please think about the neighborhood cats and the neighborhood dogs, please.
Thank you.
It's a good add-on.
Nice addition. Thank you. Hearing none, we'll move on to our next committee, Properties, Public Works, Councilmember Joy Washington. Ms. Washington.
Thank you, Mr. President. I do not have any liaison announcements, so my first item of business is for approving construction inspection proposal for Ridge Road and Olive Street Stormwater Project. Mr. Mattson kind of covered a little bit of information on this, and that we're going to attempt to break ground this year, and it was also, once again, a considerable grant to alleviate flooding in that area. And I believe it's also $17,000, which was already budgeted for this year. So unless I missed anything, Brittany? Okay, great. All right, I'll just offer this up again in the form of a motion.
Motion has been made. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Ms. Washington, did you want to say more? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the construction inspection proposal for Ridge Road and Olive Street Stormwater Project, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. Motion carries unanimously.
All right, thank you. Next, two items of business are more of a housekeeping matters. First one will be the resolution number 2025-20, sale of a 2007 GMC 2500 HD pickup truck to James Hayes Barber for the high bid of $3,671. And I put this up in the form of a motion.
Motion has been made. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of Resolution 2025-20, the sale of 2007 GMC 2500 HD pickup truck to James Hayes Barber for the high bid of $3,671, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, please say nay. Motion carries unanimously.
All right, thank you. And my next and I think final item of business will be resolution number 2025-21, sale of a 2014 ODB leaf vacuum to Athen Borough for the high bid of $18,000. And I put this up in the form of a motion.
Motion has been made. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded twice. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of resolution number 2025-21, the sale of a 2014 ODB leaf vacuum to Athen Borough for the high bid of $18,000, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Motion carries unanimously.
Okay, I just want to quickly add on that the sales of these items will go back into the borough's operating budget. And
Great.
that concludes my report.
Thank you. Are there any questions for Councilmember Washington? Hearing none, we'll move on now to Finance and Media Business Authority. You may notice the empty seat next to me. Vice President Romaine is unable to join us this evening, and I believe her report and items will be handled by Councilmember Lisa Gelman.
Thank you, Mr. President. I am told that there are no liaison announcements, but there are two legislative items, and the first of which is to approve the proposal for Go2Tech for a 3-year service agreement for the borough phone system, and I offer that in the form of a motion.
Motion has been made. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Is there any discussion on the matter? I have one question for the solicitors. Should we have the amount in this resolution?
If you're sure, can't hurt. If you know it, off the top of your head.
It's monthly.
Oh, it's a monthly. Okay.
the way the proposal is set up.
And it's based, and it's usage-based, so it's,
And yes, it is also
Okay, then ignore me.
yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, ignore me. Any other questions? Hearing none. All those in favor of approving proposal from Go-To Tech for a 36-month service for Borough phone system that is usage-based, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Motion carries unanimously.
Wonderful. I'm glad to know that the phones will still be on for all of us. My last item of business is the payment of bills for February. For this month, we have the general funds total to be $339,708.64. Liquid fuels fund is $0. The recreation fund is $1,213.92, and the capital fund bills are $400,942.06 for a total of $741,864.62.
Thank you. Motion's been made. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion?
I am told that I misspoke, and this needs to be a ratified item.
So yes, so this is the ratification.
I apologize.
Got it. Okay. Thank you. I'll change that. Hearing no discussion, all those in favor of the ratification of bills, for the payment of bills for February in the amounts that Councilmember Gelman outlined, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, say nay. Motion carries unanimously. It's now up to, are there any questions for Councilmember Gelman?
That concludes Ms. Romaine's report.
Thank you so much. Moving on, it is now my turn to turn the Enjoy. Yes, and I will allow Acting President Washington to run the items here. I have, the CDC, as you heard, met. We also have the comp plan group that did meet, and we're very excited about that. One thing to be on the lookout for, the Historic Archives Commission is putting together a pretty remarkable project, which I'll explain in one of my business items below, where they're trying to get a photographic documentation of any and all media history. So, be on the lookout for that. That should be coming out of the newsletter and other places as well. My first item of business is Resolution 2025-22. It is a DCNR C2P2 grant application for land acquisition. This is for a potential acquisition of land, and Borough Council discussed this in executive session. This would be a grant to be applied for that potential. So I'll make that in the form of a motion.
Right. A motion has been made. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? Oh, okay. All right, no discussion. So all those in favor in resolution number 2025-22, DCNR C2P2 grant application for land acquisition, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries unanimously.
Thank you. My next item is the approval of professional services contract with R&R Computer Solutions for the 175th anniversary photo archive project in the amount of $5,400. And this money has been budgeted. Again, this is to really document a lot of our borough history in this very special year. I don't even want to try to say what that is. I know it's not sesquicentennial, but there's some term for it. But, I make that in the form of a motion.
Motion has been made. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion on the motion? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor of approving professional services contract with R&R Computer Solutions for the 175th anniversary photo archive project in the amount of $5,400, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. The motion carries unanimously.
Thank you. That concludes my report.
Okay.
Thank you. We'll move on now to Public Safety, Recreation, and the Civil Service Commission. Councilmember Kevin Boyer. Mr. Boyer.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just have a few announcements. I'm looking at the Rec schedule, which you can access to the Borough website. They've come up with one of those little cards, kind of like the NBA has. And the relevant events coming up in April, there is going to be another spring yard sale. We tried that last year, and it was somewhat successful, so that will be on Saturday, April 5th. And then the Lunch with the Easter Bunny, Easter egg hunt is on April the 19th. That will be in the morning. Lisa, did they decide to do it at 10 or 10:30 at the meeting? Do you remember? Tentatively, it's scheduled for 10:30, and the egg hunt lasts about 5 minutes, and then there is all the festivities after that. So we will be outside. Hopefully the weather will cooperate, and it's always a great event. So that will be Saturday, April the 19th.
There's no rain.
There's no rain, no. It's not going to rain, so few action items. Number 2 is to approve the mass gathering permit for the Delco Trans March. This will be held Saturday, March 30th from noon until 2 p.m. on State Street to Vet Square to Front and Edgemont Streets, and I make that in the form of a motion.
Motion has been made, but may I note that March 30th is a Sunday? I believe it's a Sunday march.
It is.
Yeah.
So it's on Sunday, it's the...
Yeah, so we'll just change it to the 30th. It's Sunday the 30th.
Sunday.
Monday is the actual date of Trans Awareness Day, and they want to do the march on the 30th, which is the Sunday prior. So I don't know if we'll figure it out so. Motion has been made. Is there a second? Second. Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? I would simply say that as someone who is very close with someone in that community, I strongly support this. I look forward to participating if I'm at all able, and to be there with my child as well. So all those in favor of the mass gathering permit application for the Delco Trans March to be held on Sunday, March 30th, 2025, from noon to 2 p.m. on State Street to Veterans Square to Front to Edgemont Street, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you. Item number 3 is another mass gathering permit. This is for the Delaware County Pride Parade / March will be held on Saturday, June 7th, from 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. This is on State Street to Orange Street to Front and to Edgemont, the usual parade route. I make that in the form of a motion.
Motion has been made. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of approving the mass gathering permit application for the Delaware County Pride Parade in March to be held on Saturday, June 7th, 2025, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on State Street to Orange Street to Front to Edgemont Street, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you. And my last item is a mass gathering permit application for the Santa Parade / Fun Run / Walk / Block Party to be held on Sunday, November 30th, 2025, from 1 p.m. until 7 p.m. and it's the usual parade route. Plus, we also use Veterans Square for the block party and so on. And I make that in the form of a motion.
Motion's been made. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of approving the mass gathering permit application for the Santa Parade / Fun Run / Walk / Block Party to be held on Sunday, November 30th, 2025, from 1 to 7 p.m., please say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay. Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you, and that concludes my report.
Thank you. Are any questions for Councilmember Boyer? Okay, we'll move on now to personnel, Environmental Advisory Council and the Library. Councilmember Lisa Gelman. Ms. Gelman.
Thank you. Sorry. Thank you, Mr. President. I do have a couple liaison announcements. The library is getting ready to celebrate their 55 years of book sales. Their book sale will be on April 26th, 7th, and 28th. They also have a robust calendar of events happening, including adult cooking classes, film screening, and knitting circles. So please check out those calendars. The EAC has completed their annual report signifying many accomplishments for 2024, and I wanted to highlight a few of them. EAC partnered with TTGM and Bee City USA to help educate homeowners on the mosquito spraying and alternatives. They hosted a garden tour. They earned the gold level of Birdtown, PA. They work to help establish a resolution assisting migrating birds. They applied to become a recognized bicycle-friendly community. They co-hosted paper shredding and e-waste collection events. They established a sustainable storefront program, and they helped educate the public on public health effects of gas-powered leaf blowers. So, those are a few of their wonderful accomplishments, and the EAC continues to work endlessly on many other issues. I have only one legislative item tonight, and that is Resolution 2025-23. It is the appointment of David Director to full member on the Environmental Advisory Council for an unexpired term ending 12/31/25, and I make that in the form of a motion.
Motion has been made. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion on the matter? Hearing none. All those in favor of the resolution number 2025-23, appointment of David Director to full member on the Environmental Advisory Council for an unexpected term ending December 31st of 2025, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay. Motion carries unanimously.
That concludes my report.
Thank you. Any questions for Councilmember Gelman? Hearing none, we'll move on to Shade Tree Commission and Zoning Hearing Board. Councilmember Jen Malkoon. Ms. Malkoon.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good evening, everyone. I love following you because I can also then say some things about the environment. So happy first day of spring, everybody. Just in case you didn't know, I'm going to read a little science here. So the Earth's axis is tilted either toward or away from the sun for most of the year, and that means the sun's warmth and light fall unequally on the northern and southern halves of the planet. So during the equinox, the Earth's axis and its orbit line up so that both hemispheres get an equal amount of sunlight. So today marks the official first day of spring, and we'll probably be seeing some more things like birds nesting and trees budding out. I think, is there EAC having an eco tour?
They are.
April 27th from 12 to 2. So I believe that, and Shade Tree is going to actually have a table at the eco tour. So anybody who's interested, make sure you stop by. All things ecology and trees. I don't have any other announcements for Shade Tree at this time. For Zoning Hearing Board, I think I shared the same announcement at workshop. There was a case that came before the Zoning Hearing Board. I guess it's last month, was it? Last month. So that was passed. It was a continuing with a, what was the word? Non-conforming use of a building. So that's all that I have, really.
Great.
Any questions?
Thank you. Are there any questions for Councilmember Malkoon?
I do have a comment. I appreciate you mentioning the eco tours. That was, I'm sad to have missed that. I apologize. That is April 27th. There is registration online. Please do take a look at that. Also, in accordance to the bird nesting, there is a bird nesting right outside those front doors towards that side that I just saw walking in. So if you walk out the doors and look up to your left, you'll see it.
Terrific. It is also my 26th wedding anniversary today. So,
Congratulations.
yes, spring has a very special meaning for us.
Bloom.
We now come to our junior council person report, Ms. Lydia Petrucci. Ms. Petrucci, is there anything you'd like to share? Oh, we'll get you a microphone.
I have nothing to report tonight, thank you.
Thank you very much. Any questions? All right, hearing none. We now have our second opportunity for public comment and privilege of the floor. Again, you can make those comments via email to comments@mediaborough.com. Administrative Manager Rapino, do we have any? I'm never going to forget that.
I can't say anything.
Yeah, no, it's all right. I feel badly.
No, I don't have anything, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone present who would like to speak? Please come to the microphone again, give us your address and your name, and say your piece.
Hi, I'm Kevin Kellogg, 1 East Jefferson Street, around the corner. So I had like 4 things. These children at play signs to deter cars from speeding down streets, I think who's going to teach their kids to play in the street? I think those signs should be eliminated. There's got to be, I don't know, 85 signs, the lawn.
Wait, so you're against having kids be safe?
I'm against those signs being up.
You're against people reminding people that kids are playing and they should be safe?
Hopefully they have parents.
But the parents aren't there when the cars are going by the street, so you're against having the sign there to warn people?
It's like for adults, look both ways before you cross the street.
Okay, but so I'm trying to establish the fact that you're saying you're against the signs to keep our children safe?
I am.
Okay.
Yes, those signs. Secondly, the emergency snow routes, those signs, we have several of them on dead-end streets. Okay, why are they emergency streets?
And I think that was approached at the public safety meeting where you attended.
It was, but nothing was done.
Well, it was explained to you that these signs are there because if somebody does park there, safety vehicles can't get to a person's house on the other side of that street.
Dead-end streets?
Yes.
Okay. So, yeah.
It's not your house, I guess you.
But nobody, so I asked the question to the borough, I said, who reviewed these streets to be done, right? And the answer was nobody really reviewed them. Somebody said the police department, somebody said the EMS, somebody said whatever. I think there's a responsibility to eliminate signs, okay, because my kid, right, now there's 14 signs, kids playing in the street, emergency snow route, stuff like that. Enough is enough.
Play in the street, it reminds people that there are kids near the street and they should drive safely in case a ball goes into the street.
I think they're on every street in the whole borough.
Okay,
So
again,
anyway, enough is enough.
Establishing you're against kids being safe.
I'm establishing against signs. There's
That
14
reminds
signs
people
on my
to keep kids
corner.
safe.
So anyway.
Okay, Kevin, Mr. Kellogg's, sorry, we're just trying to look out for each other. Thank you.
Fair enough. The other thing is land donations. I think part of Natural Lands Trust allows senior citizens to give land to the public, okay? So I'm not sure we're really focused on using Natural Lands Trust, to give land to us, if you will. So I think that's an avenue that we should explore, further. And then, Mr. Grant, I think, to help, this lady here transition from a borough ordinances, if you will, or licensing, to help her company out the courthouse, go to someplace new and how to get there. Since we stopped giving food, whatever, to the courthouse, maybe we should help these people transition, given the state law of transition. So those are my 4 things.
Thank you. Is there anyone else present who would like to speak? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion to adjourn does not need a second. All those in favor of adjourning this evening's meeting, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed, please say nay. Motion carries unanimously. We are adjourned.